Alex THFC. Oh, being a Tottenham fan, a couple of weeks ago, you would have said, you would have said that everybody would be really down, negative, not really feeling very confident at all about the season. A couple of weeks later, manager gets sacked. You get a new manager in, and now everyone thinks that we are heading in the right direction and we're into the promised land of cups and probably even winning a League Cup again. And we should all be excited by that. But well, that's just being a Tottenham fan, isn't it? Really? Yeah. Just really wanting to give my own reaction to this. The the whole what's happened at Tottenham the last during the weekend, because we did discuss a little bit about the Vitesse game last time, when I last on a stream, and just my reaction to it really, because I do feel that with some positives, yes, there are some positives of what's going on at Tottenham at the moment. Only with the short period that we've had with Conte, and I'd like to share that with you guys. Um, and yeah, I just want to just give my thoughts on that really. But it's the main thing is that I do feel that we've got there are positives there, but there are few and far between. I feel, and I'll explain it throughout the stream what I mean by that. I mean, in terms of the game, I'll be honest with you, the Everton game, I was very disappointed about the lineup. I felt it was very predictable in terms of the defense. I feel that I was really keen on seeing more pace in that defense for me, especially with the way that um, Conte wants to play. He wants to play fast, more intricate passing, playing out from the back. So you need somebody you need players that are quick-minded, I would say. And I felt that those players that are at the back, and again, I don't want to harp on about, because I do feel that Dyer has his good qualities. He's got that leadership about him. But just for me, he's just he is a bit too slow for me. I think I don't understand why Romero's not in the centre. But I mean, we'll get into that a little bit further. But just going on the formation that we played against Everton, which you know we were playing against an Everton side that were not very confident, in very bad form, lost the last 3 games. So you say that this was a good opportunity to take advantage of that. They were under pressure, mainly in the game, very, very much under pressure in terms of the pressure on them to try and trying to stop this bad form that we're on, and it's really on us, to take advantage of that. I felt, but really going on the formation. I was disappointed about the formation, the lineup. I was very disappointed because I thought it was very, very predictable in my eyes. Obviously, I can't really complain about the wing backs because I don't think you can really go as far as to not choose Reguilon and Emerson, right and left wing back respectively. But then you have the centre backs, which I do understand Davis being on the left side of defence. I think he's a very good you know he's very good in that position. He's played it for Wales, and he has been playing very well recently, I feel, as well. Dyer, I don't understand why he's playing centre to back in the middle of the two. I feel that Romero should have been there, but Romero's on the right side of defence, and then you've got the two holding midfielders of Skip and Højbjerg, and then you've got the strikers, the front line of Harry Kane up front. Then you've got Lucas Moura on the sides, and then you've got Son on the side as well, on the left side, and Lucas on the right side of the forward line. Initially, the game for me, We started well. I think we started very well. I think Everton started well as well. I think it was a very chaotic start to the game. I felt we were they were pressing us a lot of the time, and you can see that they were being more on the front foot, maybe because of the pressure that they had during the game. I felt. For me, I thought that they had good spells in the game, and they had the better spells of the game for me, Everton. But you can see that there was a pattern, a way that we knew that we were going to play, with the fullbacks going forward, trying to get way forwards, deep into their half to try and get attacks going, and then you've got the centre midfield covering them if they have any, if Everton catch get the ball or stop us from playing, and then catch on the counter as counter attack. So that was the main thing for me that I noticed a lot of the time, that our our wing backs were really pushing up front, really pressing up front, really. So that was impressive for me in terms of that. But I can go on about the individual performances, because I felt that there was individually, you can argue there was very disappointing performances a little bit as well. But yeah, on the whole, it was very impressive. You could see it was clear it was a 3-4-3, that people understood their positions. Davis coming, pressing forward, trying to support Reguilon, I thought was a masterstroke in a sense, because it really did help us and influence our attack a little bit more further. I felt, and it did pressure Everton down the other way as well, getting them thinking about what was going on behind them rather than the other way around. So I did feel that he was a good big feature of the game. I felt, and he did start a lot of attacks. I felt as well by him going forward. Same with Romero as well. I think Romero, he's very, he does use his initiative a lot of the time, which is really good for Romero. He likes to stop attacks a lot of the time as well, and I think that's very, very impressive from him. And that's why I think he's growing on me even more every single game I see him. Yes, he does have a tendency to go over the top. He does play on the edge a lot of the time, like you had with Dele Alli when he was started that at Tottenham. But he has a lot of tenaciousness, and he does affect that centre back pairing of Dyer. He does affect Dyer, because Dyer has been playing much better, but he has been playing not too badly this season. But overall, I think he really improves Dyer. I think he has an influence on him as well, because sometimes he has a go at him to say, sometimes you don't have to go go too aggressively at the ball, when it's in our defense, when it's in our area. But I do think they do complement each other in certain ways. But I do feel, in my eyes, I do feel that Dyer shouldn't be in that centre back position. I feel, and I think that did affect us a little bit as well, because you know it's quite clear from the first half and this game overall that we're playing from the back, and we're trying to start our attacks from the back. Not The emphasis is not on just counter attacking football. Um, and just keep deep, and then trying to catch teams on the break. It is trying to be on the front foot a little bit more further, and this is what we're trying to do with this 3-4-3 formation, which was in some ways very impressive. One thing also that was very, very impressive as well was the one-touch football that we did sometimes, especially when we carved out half opportunities, because obviously statistic came out about no shots, but I will get into that a little bit further in the stream. But yeah, there was some good one-touch football, which again needs a little bit more time to work on. You can see as well, a lot of hard work from the team, which Conte kept on going on about a lot of the time. He kept on pushing a lot of the time, especially during press conferences. He kept on mentioning about he wants to see a lot of hard work, and you can hear from previous players, former players that he's coached. They've said a lot about hard work, and that's a feature of Tottenham as well. Really, I also would say that you can see that they are hard working, but also you can see that they're trying to run more, and with that, hopefully the fitness can improve as well. But we'll get into that even more further down the stream as well. Um, I would say during the game, uh, you can see that we were trying to counter attack um, Everton. In terms of, I know that sounds a bit contradictory when I said that we're trying to play out from the back and try and be on the front foot, but there was times when Kane, because he wasn't getting he wasn't getting into the game that much. He was trying to come deep and then try to create for the team, which did carve out a few opportunities for us. Which I can remember one opportunity that Reguilon had an opportunity, which was started from Kane, finding him in that in near the bar line, and he volleyed it over the bar. I think there was also a chance for Reguilon where I think it was Reguilon passing it, doing a good cross. It was an all right cross, I would say, and Emerson just completely got the header wrong. I felt it wasn't that great for me, but yeah, for me overall, I think both teams struggled in the final third, and I think that's been a feature of Tottenham's season this season, with a lot of emphasis last season on Harry Kane and Son. Um, you know, it's well documented. Harry Kane struggled this season, but we'll get into that a little bit later on. I know I've said that a couple of times now, but I do want to just focus on the aspect of the game, the first half. And yeah, it was good in terms of defense. I think we're sound. I don't think Everton really had any major chances in the game, um, major opportunities that really scared us. There was some hairy moments, I would say, when we made mistakes. I think there was um, a, a spot where Højbjerg was coming back and he was trying to. They were trying to pass. He was trying to pass. They were trying to do some play out from the back, and unfortunately, Højbjerg he got his pass wrong and nearly put the Everton attacker in. Unfortunately, but yeah, that was frustrating. I felt for me. But yeah, that was it really. Oh, I just see a message here from Brian. Oh, hello, Brian. How are you today? Yeah, I hope you're well, Brian, as well. Yep, it's good to see you on the stream today. How's the game for you? I want to ask. How's the game for you? I think it was up and down. It was there's some positives I feel, but I do feel that there was a lot of people being clutching at straws. I would say. I think if that was a Nuno performance, I think there would be a little bit more. A little bit more a little bit skepticism, I would say, about the game, rather than rather than positive, people looking at the positive side of things. But I think that's the case of the fact that people are so encouraged by having Conte as their manager that they want to see they want to say that they've seen the positives of the team. And this is not me having to go at the fact that we got Conte, because let's be honest here, it was the obvious choice. You see what I'm saying? We can't look at it and think it's a masterstroke, because it was the obvious choice. We had no choice in the matter. We were desperate. We were absolutely desperate. And I think even Alistair Gold summed it all up. And I will go on what he said a little bit, because I think it sums it all up. It is desperate, and it's really last chance saloon if you want a top manager managing Tottenham, if so to speak. This has got to work. So I can see why people are trying to, encourage it and say, "Oh, we're doing really well at the moment," and yeah, there's some positives there, and he's only been there for quite a while, and it's cool. But I feel that I think we've got to be very patient, I feel, and I think this game proved it to me. From what you saw today, it's quite encouraging seeing the work that he's done the last couple of games. That things have. You can see there's 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 a little bit of there's an imprint of what he's been working on the last past couple of days before the game, and that was encouraging. I've got to say, going back onto the game because I want to go back onto that so I don't we can get into that more further. Um, I think the first half really was a very um, frustrating but encouraging side of things where we were getting into good positions, but we weren't hitting them with the final pass. The final third wasn't very good at all, and I feel that that just comes with not knowing the system very well and Conte not been able to work with them as much as he wants. So I don't think he normally has that time during the pre-season, but unfortunately he has to use this time during a season. And it was quite evident when he was late for his press conference because he was trying to use more of his time to you know get his message across to the players, and trying to coach the players during that time as well. So that just sums up the amount of time that he's had with the squad. Not a lot of time, and it's quite encouraging for his what we've seen so far. Really, I've got to say that. If anybody, it's good to see. Thank you for anybody that's watching today. If you have any comments that you want to say on stream, yep, please post them, and then I will get to them as soon as I can. This is really a way just to interact with you guys as much as I can. I just feel that yes, this is something for me to get used to a lot of the time, and I'm getting used to this whole system, whole thing going live. But it's just good to interact with you guys just about the game, what your thoughts are on whether you agree with me or not. That's what it's all about. And yeah, just post them and yeah, see, and then we can discuss it discuss your comments further. Um, but yeah, it's just it was encouraging but frustrating first half. I would say summing up the first half for me. Going on to the second half of the game. It was kind of the same thing. Another thing I forgot to mention is that he was, it was very compact in defence, which I noticed as well. I felt that because of the fact, the nature of we only had Romero as defence who had pace and was more like less taking the game to Everton in terms of making sure we stopped attacks and trying to keep up. I think really the main problem I think is that we're very deep. I felt, and I felt that we need to be more further up the pitch. I think that's more a feature of maybe why I think Dyer and maybe Davis, I'll say. I think that'd be a bit harsh, but pace-wise, I think that'd be a problem. So you would think that maybe be more suited to have maybe a Tanganga at the right side of the defence because he's got pace. So he maybe fit in that mould, that right side of the defence. And then you've got Rodon, who's a left-sided, who can play left side as well. This, and then you've got pacey defenders either side of Romero, and I think that can put us a little bit higher up the pitch, which I think would help us create more chances and try and get us into good positions up front. Because I think that was a problem. I think because obviously with Dyer having no pace, he's always worried about what's behind him a lot of the time, and a lot of the time you can see that. Damari Cray was trying to get through using his pace, trying to worry them behind them, and I feel that was a problem during the game. I really do feel that was something that I think because I think he went for experience, and I do feel that that's why I was really a bit disappointed with the formation. But I understand why he did it, because he's gone through the tried and tested, the people that he knows he can trust at the moment, I would say. But I think clearly there will be changes um, over the next coming weeks, I feel, and especially during this international break, which I will go on to further. I think there will be um, a lot of things that will will change over time. I think with when Conte starts to realize, try to start to get to know some of the players and stuff, and get to know their personalities, whether he can rely on them or not. So I do feel that there's a lot there that that will happen in terms of seeing what happens. Really, I do feel that. But mainly the second half was just pretty much the same. Um, I mean, it was pretty much more frustration for Tottenham. Um, we were, trying to get through as well, and there was times when I was getting very frustrated with Song, because there was times when he had got into some good positions, really good positions. Then he found himself offside. But I think he had a very difficult game as well. Really, I do feel that he struggles on on doing the from the left. He does really struggle on the left. I think he needs to be more forward. I think he needs to be more in the middle. So maybe that leads to a more two up front rather than just a one up front. But I do feel that he's better up front. I think he's developing his game to that point now where he is the main striker. It becomes more of a main striker. So that might lead to a Kane Son partnership rather than him playing in the three. And also, I think it does suit Moira as well. But I think the problem with Moira is, who again had a bit of an indifferent game again today. I think it's well documented. Kane and Moira do not work well together. Moira's always really worked better with a. He work well. He works well with Son, but he doesn't really work well with Kane. It doesn't really seem to connect at all with him. He seemed to have connected well with Vinicius last season. It's well documented that he connected very well with Laurenti when he was here at Tottenham. They really had had a good partnership going. But with Kane, it just seems to not be working at all. And I just feel that is something that I think Conte will have to look at the next couple of weeks or so to see whether there is a better partnership or better three to do, rather than just putting three individuals up front, because that would help us in our game as well, definitely. Um, as the game went on, um, noticeably, it became apparent that we needed to change things a little bit, and with that, we brought on the Celso, and to be honest, when the Celso came on, that's when things became a little bit more better for me. The Celso was trying to find more pockets of space. Um, he also, towards the end of the game, it was a very impressive move, which was started by Højbjerg, to be fair. Um, hit the post towards the end of the game. He also was frustrating for me when he found himself a lot of the time offside as well, which was frustrating because it was just a case of you just need to look along the line and just try on the last man, and that's the thing really. So that was very frustrating for me. I've got to be honest. It was just really there was so many times that I was just you were just encouraging. It was encouraging move, which a lot of the time Davis started. A lot of the time, which is obviously a main feature of our game, which was really impressively, which really confused Everton with our fullbacks going forward. A lot of the time, it was really good in terms of that sense, I really enjoyed that sort of thing as well, where they did come forward. I've got to say though, and we have to talk about him. We have to talk about him. Regulon, very indifferent game. Very indifferent game on Sunday. I wasn't impressed with him at all. To be honest with you, I think a lot of people go over the top about him. I've got to be honest. I mean, I will say this, and this is something that I have to take into account. He's not very used to being wing back, from what I've heard. He's not used to it at all. So it would be a situation where, are we going to, with Conte coaching him, will we see improvements with him? I do feel that he's got the scope, because he is still young, to improve. Because, I mean, when we saw players like Rose, Danny Rose, Walker, they were indifferent before Pochettino. And I don't want to go back to Pochettino, but they were indifferent when Pochettino came in. They had indifferent performances, and then because of Pochettino, he turned them into really good fullbacks, really good fullbacks. So hopefully, with the tutelage or coaching of Conte and the time with the coaching staff, he can understand what he needs to do, and it will develop with time. Because I think it just needs time, and if he hasn't played that position before, it's going to take time. Definitely will help. Hopefully help in our game. Definitely. Um, yeah. Oh, just got a message here from Crocodile. So I hope you're doing well. Um, Sup, Alex? I think time has vindicated you. I think it's time we have vindicated you, mate. David isn't looking too bad, and Hoiberg is starting to show holes in his game. Well, to be honest, I mean, you know, I've always said it's not a case of I'm trying to defend Davis, and I'm not going to speak too much on him, because I think we've said all we need to say on Davis. But you know, there was reasons why they kept him around. They kept him. They kept him. Um, they've kept him around for me, because he has got that quality in terms of defending, and that leadership quality as well. I mean, obviously there's certain times where he does duck out of things, I think, and he doesn't really help himself especially after that explanation, that pathetic explanation that he made during that post-match interview after Vitesse. I don't think that was helped him at all, to be honest with you. And he does have that tendency, but he has got those qualities that can help the team, really. And at the moment, I don't feel that there's anybody better in that position at the moment. I mean, Rodon seems to not be anybody's choice at the moment, which I think is very unlucky at the moment, unfortunately. We do need somebody that can play better than him, but at the moment, he's our only left footer at the moment. We do need a left-footed defender. I thought that was something that was going to be crucial in the summer. We didn't get that during the summer, unfortunately. But I think he's a very big feature on our game. I think I definitely do feel like that, unfortunately. But thank you for your comment, Crocodiles, and good to see you on stream. But yeah, I still feel that. I mean, Hoiberg, for me, I still feel he does a good job. He does a good job, and he did do some good stuff during the game. To be fair, against Everton, he did start off that attack that ended up Lo Celso hitting the post. But he does do a good job. But I think in terms of the formation, he's only. I mean, I think really sums it up with Hoiberg. For me, a good player makes another good player look good as well, and I feel that with Skip. I feel Skip. He influences other players in the team, like Dembele did. He made players look even more better in the team and made them enhance their performances even further. And I feel that with Skip. It's the same with Romero. That's why I love Romero. I think Romero. I had to apologise to some people that were defending him a lot of the time, and I feel that Romero he does that for most of our defenders, and he makes that defense more solidify definitely by the way that he plays. You can say that about Kane. You can say that about Kane and Son. You can say that you have an argument for Son, but I mean, you're talking about those two over the past seasons because I mean, this season you definitely say that, and I don't want it to be a Kane show for me because, like like I said, I will get onto him. I will get onto him because I have my thoughts on him, and I will say that definitely. But yeah, I would say that he's you know I just see that I think he's a useful member of the squad, Højbjerg, but I think he's definitely not a defensive midfielder. I think that just sums it all up for me. I don't think he's a defensive midfielder at all. I feel. I think he's definitely a box to box midfielder, more attacking wise. I think that's where his focus should be. He does his best as defensive midfielder, but there are deficiencies there, unfortunately, which I think will look at make us look in the transfer market for a defensive midfielder, just in case Skip is injured or suspended, but he will be suspended for the Leeds game, unfortunately. Going on to, do you think Everton should have had a penalty? No, no, clearly didn't have a penalty. I don't think they did. I think that was it was good that they went to VAR. I think he definitely got a hand to it, definitely. But it's good to see you, Matthew, and thank you for your support as well. Has been the same since his injury. Has never been the same since his injury last season. Yeah, I think he was all right last season. I think he was all right. I think we did go over the top about him last season. I do see what you're saying about the injury, but I think the way that we played last season suited his game because it wasn't. And I've got to be honest, I don't think it really helped with the way that Mourinho was managing him as well. To be honest with you, because I think that kind of shot his confidence to pieces, saying that he don't attack, don't attack, don't attack. Defend, defend, defend. And I don't think that really helped his game because at the start he looked really good, didn't he? But that didn't continue over the season, didn't it? Really, I think that didn't really help with Mourinho. Not criticizing him for going too much forward a lot of the time and not focusing on his defensive side. And I think that doesn't really help someone's development really. If you've got a good quality, you want to enhance that. And then try and get the other parts better in other parts of your game better. So I don't think that really helped him, but at all really. Yes, the injury didn't help as well, I would say, but again, I think if you look at who was who was the best left back last season, Luke Shaw was one of our best left backs last season. He didn't come close. Did not come close to him. There was other ones as well which I can't get at the back of the top of my head. I think Cresswell had a good season last season as well. He's having a really good season this season as well. So I mean, for me, I think it was the way that we played. I think it suited him. I think he couldn't do any wrong because I don't think people like Davis. That's the thing. And again, I don't really want to go back onto Davis. Sessegnon didn't. What Session was? I think Session was online, wasn't he? So yeah, I think that was another thing as well. So it was a case of the only options we had was Reguilon attacking wise because you couldn't rely on Davis doing that, couldn't you? Really, because he struggled in that sort of formation. And really, to be honest with you, the focus on Davis was defensively. Mainly, if Aurier was playing, he would be the more attacking fullback, and then Davis would be the defensive fullback, and then it was the other way around. If it was Tanganga up playing, Reguilon would be that attacking left back, wouldn't it? So that would be the tactic from Jose. But yeah, I do see what your point is, but I beg to differ, unfortunately. But going on to the game, I do feel that there was some very good signs in terms of the fitness. And I do have to say this. I've got to talk about this because this is really, really crucial. It's not just defensively. This is important. This is not just defensively. It's important. The fitness side of things. The important thing of the defensive side of the fitness side of our team is because we it helps us have more energy during the end of the game, and that can encourage us to get late goals. And that's the frustration for me for Tottenham. We used to always do that, score late goals, and those goals are so crucial in a game. You know that can win us a game, that can draw us, that can draw us a game from defeats and save us 1 point, get us 1 point in the game, end us getting 1 point or not getting all three. And I think that's so important. I have to stress that so much. And I think that was the impressive thing, especially when we nearly snatched it at the end with Lo Celso. We just kept on going. I think that was the impressive thing. We just kept on going. Really just kept on going. I think that was a big feature of the game. The thing that frustrated me about the game was the fact that he made that substitution of the Celso for Mora, which made sense for me. Then he brought on Doherty, which I think made he was our only fullback, so he wasn't going to put on. I don't think Gill was on the bench, wasn't he? So yeah, he had Gill, he had well, I'm trying to get it back. I'm trying to get it to the top of my head here. So yeah, he had Doherty, and I understand why he put Doherty there as well. I understand why he put Doherty on for Reguilon, even though he was always coming back on his right. He struggled on that left-hand side, so really he's predominantly a right-sided defender. So yeah, I would say that definitely. But the frustration for me was, why was Kane not substituted? I don't understand why Kane wasn't substituted. I've got to be honest, he just didn't do nothing in the game. I just felt that if you're going to bring on somebody, and Ndombele on for somebody, you bring on Kane, bring off Kane, and then put Song up front. Because for me, I don't think he was doing anything. Granted, I would say we did look good, better when Ndombele came on, because Song wasn't having a good game. But I do feel that if you did put him up front, I think he would have done more for me than Kane was doing for me. But I, I, I didn't like that substitution. I didn't like it. I think in some way, I think it's just trying to get more hope out of him. I think, I mean, I will address the whole thing with Kane right now, but I just think I get frustrated with fans saying, oh, well, he's our top striker and he's done it for the last couple of seasons. Well, I'm not being funny. Unfortunately, this is a season where he's got to be faded out. I've always stood by that. I mean, to be honest with you, I would have just let him go this season last summer. I would have let him go last summer, to be honest. But I knew Tottenham were just not ready to let him go. They always wanted to keep him. So for me, we weren't ready to let him go. And Tottenham not being ready to let a player go is always a dangerous situation for Tottenham. So I knew in the back of my head it would only take something really massive and something out of the ordinary for Tottenham to let him go, leave Tottenham. And for me, right now, I think we're so over reliant on him. And I think the problem is with him is that he doesn't stay up front. And people say, well, he created a lot of chances last season, and he came late and he's created a lot of chances, and that's what he's so good at, and he affects the team much more better. The problem with that, and this is what I argue, is that when he does that, we're so reliant on him, and then it's the old status quo of let's pass it to Kane, and then he'll try and find a pass for us. And for me, we've got to stop doing that. We have to stop doing that. He just needs to stay up front, because if he stays up front, it encourages more of the other squad members to take the game to the opposition, and you know take responsibility as well. If Kane's making those passes, who's up front trying to score the goals? Who's in the box? And this is the problem. I know that we've got this system of got the wing backs going forward and stuff, but I just don't understand. And I wish I had a graphic to show you guys, but I haven't got that facility to do that. But it just for me, I just feel that if he's going to be the main striker, be up front and be the main striker. And that's what we need at the moment. When he comes back and tries to be this deep line creative midfielder, I don't think it helps us at all. We to become over reliant on him. And then I get sick and tired of Tottenham fans saying, well, if he goes, why is he doesn't deserve to go? What we need to get rid of Winks. Why is Winks are asking Kane? And it's like, why are we having this conversation? This is about the squad. If we're going to talk about the squad, we can't be just talking about one player. This is the problem last season. We were just relying on one player. And it just, and well, two players technically, but you know, this is the problem. And this is why I hope over this time, which is going to be very, very important. I think it's very important for certain players that are left during the international break to really start knuckling down and working hard and start proving yourself to Conte, because this is a great opportunity for them, a massive opportunity for them, because with the other players on international duty, you've got your time, your one-on-one time with Conte, and this is the time now to start grafting and showing what you can do and what you are to this team. And I think that's what that's what those play those that's what those players that are left. And I haven't got the list of players that are left. I think certain players like you've got Ali there, Winks is there, I think Bergwijn's there. I think Tanganga's definitely there. So there's quite a lot. I think there's 11 players that are there during the international break. Who are left during the international break. Now, for me, that's an opportunity for them to prove their worth to Conte, and I think it's so important for them that it's make or break. I think for me, and I know that's a bit maybe bit premature, maybe, but really, with that time with Conte to get to know him, um, also show improve during that time. It's like a mini preseason for them. So for me, yeah, I think we're going to have to see they're going to have to step up the next couple of weeks, and this is going to be a crucial time for them. Um, definitely, yes. I think I mentioned about the penalty already. Yeah, we did lack creativity. Definitely, we definitely lack creativity. I think I mentioned that as well. But I think that's down to the not familiarization of the formation that Tottenham were feeling as well. Another thing as well, I get Kane. I think I need to emphasize this as well. Um, well, we can go on about Kane doing what he did last season with the most assists, the most goals as well. But the fact is, we finished seventh. We finished seventh. So with all that, with all that effort from Kane, well, you finished seventh with no trophies. This is the whole thing. Like, I don't really want to mention him because it's done now. That was last season. But people said, "Oh, Gale scored about 12 goals. He scored about 17 goals last season." Okay, he scored 17 goals last season. Great, but was he very good, influential during that Carabao Cup game when we're supposed to win it? Was he influential during that game when we needed to win that game to win the trophy? No. Was he influential against Dynamo Zagreb when we bottled it and didn't? I don't like using that word bottle it because people override it a lot of the time, but didn't do anything that game. No. So when it was crucial time, we didn't see Bell. So really, to be honest, it was a pointless signing at the end of the day. Crucially, when you've got a world-class player like Bell, you've got a world-class player like Bell, well, supposedly world-class player like Bell, you expect him to have an effect against have an effect in those sort of games because that's really crucial. You see, what Bell did for Real Madrid, he was crucial in those moments to win Real Madrid the game. That's the reason why we bought. That's the reason why you supposedly bought him. You got him on loan. But those moments when we really needed him, like against Everton, like against in that FA Cup Everton when we lost 5-4, when we lost the game against Dynamo Zagreb when we bottled it, we bottled it. What about also the Carabao Cup game, the final? Where was he? It's all good doing it against teams like Sheffield United, scoring goals against Burnley, who completely gave up in that game. But what did he do in the crucial moments? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Same with Kane. You got to say. I mean, yeah, he scored all those goals, but what did we do afterwards? You can blame the whole team, but he's part of that team. He's part of that team. So what have we achieved? What has he achieved? And the fact is, who was the player of the season last season? Didn't even come close. Didn't even come close. And the reason why he didn't come close, because we didn't do nothing. And then people say to me, oh, we need to feel sorry for Kane. Well, the point is, we have to move on. This is a season where we need to fade him out. I've always said it, we need to fade him out. There are opportunities now for players like Ali to change the game and be the centre forward we need. It's quite clear to me he's done as a midfielder. Absolutely done as a midfielder. And it's time for him to step up and do more for his game. Same with Winks. Tanganga. It's so encouraging. It is so encouraging. It's unfortunate that and I think I've kind of drawn away from the game, so I do apologise. But this is where I need to get used to this a little bit. But I will stick to the subject going on forward. But I have to stop because I've just heard so much. Oh, so much absolute waffle about him. And the thing is, though, the reason why I don't talk about him a lot, Kane, is because I don't see why it's such an issue. Why do we need to talk about him a lot? Because we stop to think, we don't realize it's not about the squad. Yeah, you're not going to have 11 world-class players, unfortunately. So really, it comes to a point where you've got to start thinking you need to get the best out of that squad that you've got. Now, yes, there will be some casualties where there will be players where Conte will look at them and say, well, after how much time I've had with them, they're not part of my plans. And that's fair enough. You've got to understand that. You've got to take it how it is, definitely. But I do feel that there's certain I do feel that I think there's too much over expectation that we're going to get these players in that are going to be on the same level as Kane, and we're going to go well in, and we're going to get into top four, and we're going to win the Carabao Cup, and I think there's just so much over exaggeration about it that I don't think that we don't realize that really it's not just about Kane, it's about all the other members of the squad. And if they're not going to fit into what new Conte wants, they'll be out the team. And then in January, they'll have to go somewhere else. Because one thing for sure is that there's no way that they're hanging about in the under 23s. Definitely not, because that's just not going to work whatsoever. Because it's never worked before, and it only deters us from what is actually going on in our first team as well. So it just affects us, the morale in the first team anyway. So I definitely think that he'll be ruthless, but he'll find a way to find that player out the team and give him a loan somewhere else, maybe possibly, because January's not a very easy window, isn't it? Really. Um, a lot of players, Quaterdots again. Thank you for your comment again, Quaterdots. A lot of players will be playing for their future Tottenham careers during Conte's international boot camp. Yeah, I do totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. That's exactly what I feel. To be honest, Quaterdots, and I feel that very strongly because I think this is the only time that you've got one-on-one with Conte. And with the amount of time you've got, that's a mini pre-season you've got with Conte, a mini pre-season. So for me, this is the best opportunity for them to get their fitness up, um, learn what he wants from them. I'm hearing the same things that I heard from Jose Mourinho when Jose Mourinho started. I'm seeing the same things that I heard from Ryan Mason when he was interim manager. I hear the same things that I heard from Nuno. Oh, yeah, it's very impressive. He's a very impressive manager. Very impressive with his training methods and stuff. I've heard all the stories. It's the same thing I've heard before. And this is not me having a go. It's just I've heard it all before. And for me, I think we just got to take it, see how it goes, and see how it plays out the next couple of months. Um, Even till the end of the season, I think you can't really make a judgment on this until then, because it's just too soon to make judgments, and I don't think you can see anything until then anyway. But what you will see is whether these players that are left behind after during the international break, whether they do fit into what Conte wants, definitely, because I think you'll get a few. I think you'll get a fair view about what players fit into a system and what do not, who are left during this international break. So I strongly agree with you, Quaterlots there, definitely. Whether they're favourites or not, I think it will be a way. It will be a indication of whether they are in Conte's plans or not. Definitely, but well, hopefully the players will take it very seriously and they will work really hard because they will be out the team definitely. So yeah, that's it really for me. I do feel that but Kane, I mean, I do feel that there's going to be changes in the team. I mean, when you look at it from afar, in my opinion, I think the everyone's position is under threat. I think the only players that are not under threat, in my opinion, Romero, Skip, and it's so encouraging to hear what they hear. Conte's really impressed with Skip, and I was really a bit worried about Skip, and I was like, yeah, I'm glad to hear it because he's impressed a lot of managers before, and he came up from Pochettino. Mourinho was impressed with him. I don't think he really wanted to bring him on loan, to be honest, to Norwich, but it really was good for his development, and he's been so impressive during this first part of the season. And I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I know that Skip will have some difficult times, but it's just been so impressive from him. He's just beyond his years, definitely. The way that he finds passes, he's just got a very good knowledge of the game, and I just think it's just good to see. And he really impressed Nuno, even though Nuno doesn't say that much. But yeah, Conte, he's really impressed him. I'm really pleased with that. Really pleased with that. So you got to say that he'll be definitely part of the team. I don't think Kane's part of. I don't think Kane's position's assured. Definitely not. I think he needs to buck up his ideas. I think definitely, and I think it's for Son. I mean, I think there was a people saying that probably they prefer two up front, and that might help both Son and Kane. um, pick up their form, which is good, is a good shout. But again, I don't want to rely on Kane anymore. I don't think this. I think it's a case that we need to stop this over reliance on Kane, and I think we do need to get to a point now where we have to stop. We have to fade him out, and that's just my opinion. I think that's it for me. We do need to definitely um, we definitely need to. Sorry, I can't even get my words out now. You do need to fade him out because I think it'd be good for the team, um, and we can figure out a way to play without Kane, and I think that will develop our squad even further. Because I think there's just too much things holding us back. And I think Kane's one of them, unfortunately, and that might be a harsh thing to say, but sometimes you do have to go with the harshness. I think sometimes. Um, I badmouthed him in the past, but our passing troubles, which are woeful, I think Winks is going to be given a chance at least in the short term. Well, again, I have to say this, Crocodiles. This is the reason why I think it's important. This, like I said, he's going to have to really push this season. He's going to have to push during this mini break, international break as well. He's going to have to work very very hard as well. All the players have to do it, all of them, and it'll be interesting to see who don't pull their weight and see what happens to them anyway. Definitely, but this is the opportunity. This is their opportunity now to really work hard during this international break, because this is a crucial part for them to prove that they are, um, worthy of being in the team, and they really do have to push themselves. I think for me, so I think this is important as well, definitely. Um, so yeah, I would like to see that, definitely, like to see that, Quaker Dots. But yeah, thank you for your comment, mate. Thank you for your comment, and I do agree. And he did look impressive, Winks, definitely. That cameo he did against Vitesse, definitely. I've always said that he needs to play more, like Calvin Phillips or the Jovino role, that he plays for Chelsea. Jovino that plays for Chelsea, but also he can play like Calvin Phillips. I think he needs to develop his game more. He's not a defensive midfielder, and that's clear. He's not a defensive midfielder. He tries his best, but he's not. Um, I think that stops his game a little bit more. It'd be good to see the partnership between Skip and Winks. Unfortunately, he's suspended Skip. But yeah, I mean, we are short in that defensive midfielder position. I mean, I heard somebody say to me that um, he wants to see Skip Dyer in that centre midfield, and I just thought that's oh, no, that just cannot happen. He's got no pace for that position. He'll get run ragged in that midfield. It's not suited to him. He's more defender now. To be honest with you, that's done his game. That side of his game is definitely gone. Definitely. Um, Definitely, 100% definitely done. I'd say definitely. But yeah, I think that's what I feel about anyway. That anyway, but just just to just to finish off on the game, I think overall it looked positive. Overall, it looked positive. I don't think we were. I think there's aspects of our game that defensively we look good. Obviously, the final third wasn't great, I would say. I think we definitely looked better when the Celso and Ndombele came on. And I think even though I criticised that substitution of Son coming off for Ndombele, I think Kane should have come on. It did still look good, and I think we did start to carve out opportunities, especially last part of the game. Definitely when the Celso got that chance, and he missed that chance. Definitely, the fitness side of things, it's exciting for me. Definitely, because I like to see Tottenham score more late goals. I like to see them more score late goals. Yeah, I understand the defensive side. Someone said about the defensive side, and it keeps them fully concentrated as well. But late goals during the last 15 minutes is even more crucial. It gets you a win or a last minute draw, and stops you from losing games as well. So I think that's crucial as well. And no team likes a last minute goal. A last minute 15-minute goal scored against them. No one, no team does. No team does. Absolutely no team does. Definitely not. Um, overall it was good, and I think it was impressive to see that with the short amount of time that Conte's had with the team, that it definitely looks he's got a system in place. He's actually put his ideas across, and you can see a way of playing definitely, and he's put that across to the players, and he can see straight away, especially the fullbacks. That's really impressive as well, definitely. So it's exciting times. I will say that I wouldn't be going over the top about what's going on, because I mean I do feel that some Tottenham fans think they've won a trophy because Conte's been appointed, which I just think is over the top, way over the top. I've got to be honest. But you've got to be encouraged with what's going on at the moment, but there's still improvements, really lots of improvements. And I think over these next couple of weeks, we'll see whether any of us players that were left behind during the international week stepped up, and we will hope to see some improvements from them. Um, we all know that unfortunately there might be some injuries. I know that Højbjerg, there's a bit of a worry about Højbjerg. Now, I think Højbjerg is the sort of player that you know he just keeps on going, even if he has got an injury. I think the only time he wouldn't play is if he was really badly injured, wouldn't he? Really, and um, whether he is crucial to the team, I don't know about that. Um, but I know Conte. He'll look at different options. I don't think he'll panic if Højbjerg was injured. I think he'll look at different options to try and figure out a way of finding different ways of playing to try and suit the team if Højbjerg's not playing. But we all know, unfortunately, Skip is not playing because he's suspended, unfortunately. So yeah, I think that'll be interesting to see what happens there. Definitely during the international break, definitely. Um, but yeah, some news today, because I know a lot of Tottenham fans were not happy about this, but for me, I think this was not an issue for me. I think people going over the top about it. I think Ryan Mason was appointed first team coach in Conte, and by the way, and this was confirmed by Football London and it's the Gold, I think it was. Um, hopefully, I didn't get that wrong, but if I did, I apologise. But he said that Conte requested, and to Tottenham fans, he requested for Ryan Mason to be part of the coaching staff. Just to remind Tottenham fans again, he requested it. So I mean, he obviously feels that he'll be good for the coaching staff and for the team. So most of the players are happy about it as well. That's good as well. So for me, I think everybody goes over the top about that Carabao Cup final. I think the problem is I think people forget, and I don't really want to go back to that because at the end of the day, there's nothing really I can say about it. And I'm saying this very respectfully because I know some people that really want him out, and I can understand it. I've got no really, I've got really nothing really good to say about him either, Levy. But I don't really want to go into that too much. Um, but you've got to blame him for the situation, what happened in that Carabao Cup final. He put Ryan Mason in that position in the first place. He didn't need to make that decision then. He could have done it. He could have done that a long time. He could have done it after the cup final, which would have been better suited rather than what doing it just before the cup final. So that's the person I would blame, not blame Ryan Mason, who is 30 years old, well, 29, 30 years old. You know, young people, and I mean, yeah, when you're that age, you do make mistakes. You're pretty much learning on the job, aren't you? Really. So for me, I think it's a bit harsh to go on about what you, putting the blame on him. Yes, he made the wrong decisions. It did turn out to be the wrong decisions, but you know, it's not what happened. I mean, for me, like I said, I've always say this, and for other Tottenham fans, it'll be more crucial. I always said that the Carabao Cup is a tick box for me. It will be crucial in terms of us getting back to knowing how to win something. Definitely, it's not. I mean, I'd like to win it, yeah, just to get the tick box out, definitely. But at the end of the day, um, it only gets us into the Carabao, into the Conference League. So it's more crucial to win the Conference League to get into Europa League, or win the FA Cup, or get into sixth place, which I think is definitely a possibility now. With the appointment of Conte now, you've got to say that now, because you've got somebody that can do that. Whether he'll think that's good enough for his ambition is another question. But you've already got my thoughts on top four. That could change in April. It could change. Depends on what I said before, and I'm not going to go on what I said before. 73 points or more. If we are on course to get that, you can't say that we haven't got an good opportunity to do that. Definitely, but at the moment, it's so far away. There's so much to do in this team. I don't feel there's a quick fix at the moment. That's why I named this video. There's some positives, but we've got a long way to go. We have got a long way to go. So I do feel that we just have to just take our time and see what happens. Really, um, I can't call it at the moment. I can't make any judgment at the moment in terms of what's going on, good or bad. I think there are some positives, there's some negatives, which I've mentioned during this stream, especially during that final third. It'll be interesting to see what happens in January. Let's be honest here, people named a lot of names, a lot of foreign names, which to me confuses me, because Tottenham on basically haven't well, they've got equal amount of foreign players that are allowed to have in the European squad. So getting rid of Dali Ali and getting rid of Winks only makes the problem worse. Doesn't make it any better, because you can't get any foreign players with that. Unfortunately, it's got to be a foreign player. So you got to class Davis, Dyer, Moira. Who, it's interesting now that you're seeing people saying that Moira might be his position might be under threat. Which, to be honest, I don't blame it. To be honest with you, because he works hard for the team, but unfortunately, he's not effective enough. Unfortunately, even with all that hard work. So you can see why, if there was an opportunity to sell him, you would do that. But I think mainly this sort of business would be during the summer, really. But again, I think that's a bit premature at the moment. I think we have to focus on what's going on with the players that we've got at the moment, because January is just a month away, well, month or two away. So I don't think we should really worry about that at the moment, because we've got some good winnable games to do. Sorry, good winnable games ahead of us, and there's a lot to carry on, really. So I think there's a lot of things to go, a lot of things to look forward to, and a lot of hard work ahead of us. Definitely, certainly, definitely a lot of hard work ahead of us. Um, definitely, and I think we just gonna have to be a little bit more patient, unfortunately. Which is not a nice word that we need to we want to hear. But unfortunately, I think that's the way that we are at the moment. Unfortunately, really. So, but yeah, I think that's all for today. Thank you for everybody that's on the stream today. That's been watching me today. Thank you for the support. Listening to me talk about Tottenham. I know that's I do really appreciate your time and thank you for all your comments. Please, can you, if you could, please, I'd really appreciate if you do comment below. Just comment below, just your thoughts on if you agree with my points today. Just about comments about the game, what you feel of what's going on ahead, what's going to happen next couple of weeks or so. Just your thoughts and feelings, your opinions, really would be appreciated. I'll try and get to you I'll try to get to all of you. I will try and get to all of you. But until then, take care of yourself and have a good evening and see you soon.